The last smart buying strategy is price comparison. All right, and when you compare different prices of products, you also want to look at what's called rebates. And rebates are a partial refund of the price of a product. You want to include that in your price. You usually have a mail-in form to obtain your rebate. So, for example, if a cell phone company, if you bought the new Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge and it says that you'll get $100 off the phone with a mail-in rebate, you would have to fill the form out, mail it to Samsung or maybe your service provider, and it'll give you a $100 check or $100 in a gift card that you can use anywhere. All right. You want to include that rebate in your price comparison because think of it as a sale. Reason why companies don't allow you to, for that example, just take $100 off at the cashier is because they're banking on you not filling out the form for the rebate. And they're hoping that you forget. And usually rebates come with an expiration date. And by the time you remember to mail it out, it's past the expiration date and you're stuck. Okay. Some rebates also go with that you must have the original receipt. It's depending on the company's policies in terms of their rebates. But really what we want to learn for tomorrow's taste test, in which I'm going to buy the goods at ShopRite soon after I put this up, is calculating unit price. And unit price is looking at the standard of unit of measurement to compare prices of packages that are different sizes. So basically that's saying if you have 2 boxes of, let's say, crackers, one for $3.99 and it's 16 ounces, and one for $2.99 and that's, let's just say, 12 ounces. Unit pricing is figuring out how much you're paying per ounce. And how to do that is you take the total price divided by the number of units and you end up with your unit price. All right. Very good for you to do unit price, especially when you're grocery shopping, to decide if you're getting the best deal per unit. So a quick example. Looking at shampoo, we have one bottle that's $4.99 and it's 16 ounces, and we have a second bottle that's $5.69, but that's 20 ounces. So already looking at this without doing any math, you may see, you know what, that $4.99 for 16 ounces, that works for me. It's almost $1 less, and I'm okay with having 4 less ounces. But when you complete the unit price using the unit price formula, taking the total price divided by the number of units, we see that $4.99 for 16 ounces comes out to be 31 cents an ounce, whereas the more expensive one actually only comes out to 28 cents per ounce. So the best deal, the one you should buy, is the $5.69 bottle because you are getting the best value based off of the unit price. And that's what we'll be doing tomorrow while you're tasting and figuring out whether it's generic or brand name. We're going to be conducting the unit price. So if you're going grocery shopping with your parents, or next time they go out, I suggest going with them and conduct a unit price and see if you're getting the best deal off of the products that you buy. And to finish up chapter 4, just common consumer complaints that a lot of companies deal with. We either see that the product is defective, that either the product was made of a poor quality. If you ever had something break very easily on you, usually it's because of poor quality control. Unexpected cost. Okay, cars have high unexpected cost. If you ever bought an item that you had to buy something else for it and buy another thing for it and maintain it, those are all unexpected costs that you weren't considering when you first bought the item. There's also deceptive pricing and unsatisfactory repair service. The one I could think of is the whole Xbox 360 with the red rings of death. Your video game console would essentially break and you have to mail it off to Xbox, and you would have to pay $150 for them to fix it. Unexpected cost right there. And sometimes I had issues when I got the video game console back. The same issue would happen maybe a week later. So a complaint of mine was their unsatisfactory repair service. And lastly, a common customer complaint is fraud. Basically dishonest business practices that are meant to trick consumers and to gain some sort of advantage. So if you ever see a telephone or a mail scams talking about you want a free prize, okay, usually not the case. That is a type of fraud that a lot of consumers do complain about. You ever hear about those breakthrough diet plans? Okay, usually some fraud and they don't live up to what they are saying that the product or the diet plan does for you. And lastly, talking about those complaints, just some tips to protect yourself as a consumer. Really, you only want to do businesses with companies that have good reputations. Especially if you buy things, for example, on Amazon. A lot of those companies, when I go on Amazon, I never heard about. So I make sure I do my research, I look at the reviews, and make sure I'm dealing with a company that has a good reputation. If it doesn't, and if it has, say, less than 5 or 4 stars, I stay away. You also want to avoid signing contracts that you do not understand. A lot of us do that now with social media. You just hit accept the terms and conditions, don't even read it, and you don't even know what privacy settings that Facebook or Twitter has. All right. Definitely read through contracts, especially if it's for bigger purchases, for a car or for an apartment. Read through each line, and if you're not sure what they mean, speak to someone with a little more knowledge base, or your parents, because you want to avoid signing contracts that you don't understand that may trap you later on. And lastly, watch out for offers that seem too good to be true, because it usually is. There usually is some catch. You always want to be aware and make sure you are disclose all the information before you make a purchase, and that's just protecting yourself.